So wealth and prosperity, are they not the same thing? Hey guys, how's it going? This is James Tripp. This is a video for James Tripp Chaos Wave. We are looking here at the distinction between wealth and prosperity. Now, the reason we're looking at this is because recently when I was mentioning the Power of 8 2.0 program, which is starting next month, still applications are open for that, by the way. When I mentioned this originally, I said it was for independent life path creators looking to become more adept at creating wealth, prosperity, and fulfillment in their lives and from their lives. And I had a few people ask me, James, wealth and prosperity, they're the same thing, right? So why are you saying wealth and prosperity? They are just the same thing. Well, the way I use these terms, they are not the same thing. There is a distinction here, and I think it is a useful distinction, so I'd like to share it with you right now. Now, when people think about wealth, when they initially think about wealth, they often think about, huge mountains of abundance, like the big piles of gold in The Hobbit where the dragon Smaug sits on top of them. But actually, to me, wealth is something much, much simpler. To me, wealth is anything that adds to your life, to your ongoing survival, existence, thriving, anything that helps meet your needs, helps you move forward in life, anything you can use. So wealth could be food, it could be shelter, it could be tools, it could be assets, it could be anything. So you might have somebody who doesn't have a lot of wealth, but they have some wealth. Right? You could have somebody who has nothing but a packet of sandwiches. That packet of sandwiches is the sum total of their wealth. That packet of sandwiches is a valuable thing. It contributes to their lives. If they had 2 packets of sandwiches, they would have expanded their wealth. If they've got a roof over their head, they've got more wealth still. If they've got a vehicle to get themselves around, more wealth still. If they have assets, if they have networks, they have capital, all sorts of things. You see, wealth exists in a variety of different forms. People think of money when they think of wealth, but actually money is not the most profound form of wealth at all. Money is a means by which to redistribute and accrue wealth, more than being true wealth in itself, but it ends up being a representative for in a great many ways. So when I'm talking about becoming a more effective, independent wealth creator, for example, I'm talking about your ability to bring things into your life that you want, that you need, things that are going to move you forward. And when I talk about being an independent wealth creator, I'm talking about somebody who doesn't have a fixed income, doesn't have a boss, isn't reliant upon some fixed wage and pleasing the person or the organization paying that wage. I'm talking about a person who can, to use a phrase of an old mentor of mine, engineer paydays as and when they need to. This is what it means to me to be an independent wealth creator. It doesn't necessarily mean being the richest person in the world. It means being able to look and go, what is it that I want right now? And how am I empowered to create this? And this is why for myself, I'm a huge fan of not having a job. Because for me, having a job, accepting employment, accepting wage, it takes away your power to independently create the wealth you need when you need it. So that for me is wealth. Wealth is a scalable thing. You can have more or less of it, but anything is wealth. I'm over here looking at a bar stool. That is wealth. It represents something I can use that can enhance my life, because sometimes when I'm running a training in my small space here, I sit on that bar stool. It helps me. It's part of my wealth. So what's prosperity then? Well, for me, prosperity is a different thing. It's actually a bit more multi-dimensional than wealth. For me, prosperity is having enough wealth that it facilitates other things coming into your life. For example, health for me is part of prosperity. If somebody is unhealthy, unwell, they don't have their health, they are not prospering in life. If they don't have psychologically enriching relationships in their life, they are not prospering. You see, it's more than just about having that kind of wealth, material wealth. Prosperity goes beyond that. Now, if you look at the relationship between wealth and prosperity, there is a relationship, but it's not as clear-cut as it might seem. You could have somebody who was very, very wealthy, and yet all their time was eaten up in stressful activities that they needed to do to keep making that wealth, right? So their health is being undermined, their psychological health, they're burning out, their relationships are falling apart. This is not prospering, okay? This is not prosperity by my definition. So you could have somebody with a lot of wealth, but actually quite low levels of prosperity. On the flip side of that, you could have someone with less wealth, but higher levels of prosperity. But you've got to have enough wealth in your life that things like relationships are not being compromised, things like health are not being compromised. For example, if you haven't got enough wealth in your life to be able to eat nutritious food, get access to medicines, healthcare, this kind of thing, you've got to have enough wealth in place that you don't have to work and burn out all the time. You can open up some of your bandwidth to personal relationships, these sorts of things. I think part of prosperity is being able to engage in personal development, having the bandwidth available to be able to look at yourself, look at your life, and start bringing consciousness to how you want to shape things. Look at your relationships, start bringing consciousness to how you want to shape those. So for me, these are all variables in prosperity, but wealth needs to be there, because if you're struggling to survive because you do not have the resources, you're clearly not going to be in a place of prosperity. It's not going to happen. So for me, these two things come together, but they are not synonymous. When I look at my own life, and these are my choices, I like to have wealth. Yes, I do. But I don't want to be chasing wealth to the point where prosperity suffers in terms of relationships, in terms of health, in terms of other aspects of life. The other third variable I haven't talked about in this video, which relates to the Power of 8 group, is fulfillment. And fulfillment's actually something deeper and richer still. It's about whatever you're doing in your life, you feel like you're doing it on purpose. It's meaningful. It counts for something. It's enriching in a deeper way than simply material wealth or even the more kind of surface level prosperity stuff. So fulfillment's a major thing for me. And that's why with Power of 8, those 3 points triangulate. We're looking at wealth, we're looking at prosperity, we're looking at fulfillment, and creating a life that honors all of those things, and creating ourselves as individuals who can bring those things powerfully into our lives. So whether or not you're interested in applying for Power of 8 2.0, it's a 6-month coaching group. You can get the details from a link around here. Whether or not you're interested in applying for that or not, if this has been useful for you, if this distinction has been interesting or useful for you, please do give it the thumbs up. If you've got any more questions about this distinction, maybe you've got some questions about, James, what difference does it make? You know, how does it make a difference holding this distinction? How does it serve you in actually becoming more empowered to create the life you want? Anything like that, make use of the comments section. Let's continue this conversation. Let's go deeper into this. And if you are looking for more rich perspectives on using your mind to shape your life, subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that notifications bell. And yeah, until we continue this conversation, keep on using your mind to shape your life.